In this example, we'll be looking at a word problem that can be modeled using a sine or cosine function. So please take a moment just to pause the video and read the question. Okay, now that you've read the question, we can see that the graph is actually modeling the rider on a Ferris wheel. And the first question we're asked is, how far is the Ferris wheel off the ground? So if we think about the Ferris wheel, it would look something like this. So we've got the ground here. We'll call this my Ferris wheel. And we'll need to put in a center on that, roughly about here. And then the Ferris wheel will need some kind of arms to hold it up. So a bit of a crude diagram, but it will suffice for our example. So there's my Ferris wheel. And I want to know how far the Ferris wheel is off the ground. Well, if we compare the rider height, or the height above ground in meters, to the picture of the Ferris wheel, let's just have a quick look at what we could model doing that. So if I take the top of the Ferris wheel, that would roughly be about here. And the bottom of the Ferris wheel would line up roughly here. So if I want to know how high the Ferris wheel is off the ground, what I need to look for is the minimum value on my graph. I can see the minimum value here, which is in meters, is 1. So that means that this part of the Ferris wheel here is 1 meter off the ground. And this says, what is the range of the function and what does it represent? The range of this function goes from 1 to a height of 7. So we go from 1 to 7 for our y values. And what it represents is essentially the diameter of this Ferris wheel. Because the range in values is 6, so this represents the maximum and minimum heights that you would reach on the Ferris wheel. It also represents the diameter of the Ferris wheel. And it's going to represent our max and min heights while you're riding. And the last part here says, what is the height of the Ferris wheel? Well, we can see the height of the Ferris wheel is right here at the maximum, which is 7. Now another question we could be asked here is, where's the axis rotation for the Ferris wheel? In other words, where's the center of the Ferris wheel? How high is the center? Well, we could get that by looking at the equation of the midline from my graph here. If I look at the equation of my midline, that's going to be halfway between 1 and 7. So right here at 4. I see that lines up with the center of my Ferris wheel. So my axis of rotation, or the midline, would be the same here, and that would be at a height of 4 meters.